Welcome to Transfer Hub. Let's have a little roundup of what's going on at Aston Villa regarding transfer news. So coming out of Sky, it's that Aston Villa would be interested in Nicolas Jackson in this window. It's a player that we've been linked with. It's a player that Unai Emery has managed before. And I really like the sound of Jackson. You know, he's 21 years of age. He feels a bit like a rough diamond that just needs polishing off a little bit. We all know that Unai Emery signed Martinelli at Arsenal, and, you know, look how good he's gone on to be. So Jackson one really does excite me a little bit because we are crying out for some pace in this Villa side. And I kind of just feel like if we were able to sign Jackson, it would be a really good signing for us, you know, in the future and short term as well, and just offer the side some more pace, you know, a little bit more direct at times, counter-attacking to be a little bit more explosive as well. So it's one to keep an eye on, one that I'm excited about, the potential of Jackson coming to Aston Villa. But before we start and before we get into the Jackson rumour, then we may as well have a little look at the Jean Duran coming into Aston Villa yesterday. It sort of took everybody by surprise. Tom Colomossi is saying that Duran would be going in as a first-teamer, which is what I think we all sort of gathered towards the end of the live stream that we did yesterday. You know, you don't spend, 18, 19 million pounds on a striker and put him in the reserves or send him out on loan. You know, you see teams like Chelsea doing that type of stuff, but we don't have the amount of players that Chelsea have got. They've got about 16 teams. So I think it's one that he's going to, as soon as he comes back from the Colombian under-21 tournament that he's going to be playing in, you know, he'll be in and around the first team. He'll be on the bench making appearances. So, you know, it's a really exciting transfer for Aston Villa because it's a player that has got bags and bags of potential. I know I reeled off some of the stuff that the scouting page was saying, and they had a question from someone that was saying, who's he like? And they used the word Haaland, you know, so we know a lot of big clubs have been sniffing around him. We know the likes of Liverpool and Man United have had a look at him. Apparently, he was going to be the Cody Gakpo alternative. I think Benfica was sniffing around him as well. So I think he's a highly sought-after player, one that's not the finished article. He's got a lot of work to do. He's got to get his head down. He's got to adapt to the Premier League. But I think it's going to be one of those ones where he comes off the bench. What can you do? Can he bag a goal? If he gets a goal and he's absolutely flying, then why can't he start games? So I think it'll be that type of mould. We saw with Benteke when he came in, he started on the bench, came in, got a goal, and then just hit the ground running. And imagine if he could do something like that. So it's really, really exciting, and one that, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing him in a Villa shirt as well. So we had another couple of questions about what this means to Cameron Archer. And, you know, I'll be honest, I think we put a lot of hope into some of these players that we've got in the youth system. We put a lot of, you know, it's like when things aren't going well, it's like, why don't we just play the youth? Why don't we just do this? Why don't we just bring him in? Football doesn't really work like that. And it's not the right time for some of these youngsters either. And what I would say about John Duran and Cameron Archer is they're two completely different players. We know what Cameron Archer likes to do. Fox in the box, on the defender's shoulder, you know, making space in the box. Whereas you compare him to what John Duran is, more of like, you know, think of a Benteke, strong, physical, hold-up player, can create his own goals out of nothing, can drag defenders out of position. You know, so they're two different types of striker. And I think at times you've got to think that, what do we need up top? And I think if you're saying that Cameron Archer's a little bit like an Ollie Watkins in what he can do off the ball, yeah, we know Cameron Archer can bag goals. He can finish really well. But, you know, I'm just not sure he's ready for Aston Villa at the minute. I don't think Cameron Archer's what this Villa side needs at the minute with the system that Unai Emery plays. That's not to say that I don't think he can ever play for Villa. I said on the live stream yesterday that I feel like Cameron Archer's going to be one of these late bloomers at Villa, where if we, you know, he signed that new deal about a year ago, so he's still got years on his contract. if he goes out to Middlesbrough and absolutely bags loads of goals, that comes back to Villa, let's assess where he's at. And then we can maybe send him out on loan again to a Premier League side, or let's nurture him in that way, because I feel like him sitting on the bench at Aston Villa is absolutely pointless. If you're waiting for Cameron Archer to get Premier League minutes at Aston Villa, I don't think it's going to happen. So I think Archer's going to be one of those where, a little bit like Abraham, goes out on loan to Swansea, goes out on loan to Aston Villa, does really well. Then it's like, we've got to start playing this kid in our side. And that's what Chelsea did. So that's how I see Cameron Archer at Aston Villa. The Guendouzi news has gone a little bit quiet. It came out the other day that apparently Villa isn't necessarily the dream move. That's what apparently he was quoted in saying. So I think we've got to watch this space with this one. What we saw with the Moreno transfer is they get linked, it goes quiet, and then they sign. So you know what Villa are like. We could just drop something out of nowhere as well. There is a rumour saying that Aston Villa are in pole position to sign Weston McKennie as well. That's coming out of Italy. So those Weston McKennie rumours are still there. We're still linked with McKennie. So let's just have a little look at Nicolas Jackson's stats then. So for any of you that don't know him, he's 21 years of age, predominantly right-footed, market value of 14.6. I reckon you'll be looking at around 20 for Nicolas Jackson. This season, he has a SOFA score rating of 6.72. He's played 14 games. He started 8. He's averaged 56 minutes per game. He's scored 2 goals. He's having 1.1 shots per game. His goal conversion is 13%. Let's have a look at his dribbling as well. So he's averaging 20 touches per game, accuracy per game, and he's passing is 73%. In his own half, 74. Opposition half, 71. Long ball accuracy, 100%. And chipped passes, 100%. So let's have a look at his dribbles. So successful dribbles, 58%. So that's pretty decent as well, nearly at the 60% mark. Let's have a little look at under Unai Emery. So he played 9 games, started 0, and he had 10.3 touches per game. Big chances missed was 1. Passing accuracy, 76%. Successful dribble, 67%, so even higher last season. Total duels won, 60%. Ground duels won, 52%, and aerial duels, 68%. So Jackson, I think he's one of those where it's an exciting one with a prospect again of growing into the Aston Villa side. We've spoke about we need players to come into the side and make an impact. I think you're looking at those of being like Guendouzi's. But I do feel like Jackson is an exciting one. Pace, power. We saw what Gnonto did for Leeds off when he played against at Villa Park. 18 years of age. Pace, powerful, direct. You know, he's got a good cross on him, skillful. So I think that's the sort of mould we'd be looking at with Jackson as well. So I just thought I'd just come on, Villa fans, give a little bit of a transfer roundup of what's going on and offer my thoughts on Duran, Jackson, Cameron Archer. But be sure to get involved in the comment section and offer your thoughts down below. Drop a like and subscribe.